Definitely. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be back on the big stage. These last 2 years for me has been rough. From team to team, and then injuries. Compelled me from playing a lot of the time. So really, this summer was just trying to get as healthy as I can. In the game of basketball and in any sports, it's hard to get back to 100%, but you try to get as close as you can, and that's the goal for me. And it's definitely been a tough road. But being here, the comfort that I have, the way that this organization and the teammates have embraced me is definitely going to help that.
Marcus, hey, Dan Wenke with The Athletic. DeAndre just told us that he thinks this is the biggest opportunity of his career, right? Having been bought out and, going into all of this stuff. I'm curious, for you, kind of how you view this opportunity for yourself, to play again on that stage that you mentioned. Do you feel like this is a reset for whatever is next for you in your career?
Definitely. I'm right there with DA. I got bought out as well. So, this is a big year for me and my family. Like I said, those 2 years kind of went under the radar. People probably forgot a little bit, what I can do and what I bring to the table. This year is definitely huge for me, and to be able to bring back to light what I've done my whole career.
Hi, Marcus. Brad Turner from the LA Times. You've mostly been a starter your entire career. Does it matter to you what role you play here with the Lakers?
It does not. I'm here to win, and however that means, that's me. Like I've been saying around, that no matter whether I start or come off the bench, my presence will be made.
Tuking to win with the LA. Oh, right here. JJ was just talking earlier this week, last week, about what you need to be in terms of like a defensive presence, a leadership presence. What do you hope to kind of reestablish in terms of those skills and those parts of your game now that you're here in LA?
Definitely. I've talked with JJ and what he expects from me on both ends, but especially that defensive end, and it's everything I've been doing my whole career. It's nothing new. And I remember the first thing he told me was, hey, if we're going to get the Celtics, Marcus Smart, that's who we want. That's who we need. And we need you to be that person and be who you are. So for me, it's just coming out and giving everything I got on this court and leaving it out there every night.
Kobe Price, SoCal News Group. You just mentioned conversations you had with JJ. Just what have been your impressions of JJ as a coach now that you've had a couple of months of being able to talk to him?
First off, it's weird, to go from playing against him, game plan to try to run him off the line and chase him all night and every night to sitting down and him telling me who now, instead of chasing me, this is who you're going to chase. But no, it's definitely been great. JJ, his IQ when it comes to this game as a player, as a coach, is great. And we're all still learning. He's not perfect, but he strives every day to be, and that's only going to help us.
Marcus, you can defend multiple positions, and over the last couple of years, you've tended to defend up a little bit more. Do you have a preference on defending up or down, or does it matter to you? And with those conversations with JJ, what has been the vision in terms of your defensive role positionally?
No, there's not one thing that I prefer. Every night is going to be different. Every night is going to cause for a new challenge. And sometimes I might have to guard the smaller guards, and sometimes I might have to guard the bigger wings. That's just what it is. And with JJ, he fully understands my versatility, and he wants me to use my versatility to help this team.
Marcus, you've played against LeBron for so many years in so many situations. What stands out when you think about LeBron as a competitor, and what does it mean now to be his teammate finally?
Wow, definitely. Being a competitor, he's at the highest of the highs when it comes to it. We know the player he is. We know how great his mind is when it comes to this game. And having an opportunity to play against him, it feels good to be on his side now and not having him game plan against us. And so I'm looking forward to that, and we're going to have some fun.
Marcus, just your thoughts on the entirety of the roster, having Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron, all these guys, the addition of DeAndre Ayton. Just what do you make of the makeup of the team in the West?
I love it. We got a lot of guys that can do a lot of things in a lot of special ways. We got some talented guys on this roster. Even the guys we didn't mention. The depth that we have, and like I said, the hunger that this team has. You know, got a lot of guys, you know, working for something. And everybody's working for one goal, but we're all working individually for our stuff, for our families, and to go out there and be the best that we can be so we can help this team.
Marcus, a follow-up quickly. What's the onboarding process like when you join a team that has these big-time expectations? Memphis was in a similar situation. Do you dive into film? Do you watch Did you watch like a bunch of like Luka, Lakers, like stuff like that? And I'm curious kind of what your sort of initial impressions were.
Definitely. You know, as a professional in your profession, you definitely need to do your homework. So for me, you know, having these times of playing against Luka and watching him, I definitely go back and watch those games and just try to figure out, you know, what can I do to make his job easier, you know, and help this team and you know, try my best. It's new, so you know, you do have to dive right into it. You know, you can't be on the other side trying to tiptoe in because you will get left behind.
Marcus, Minor Castillo desde la cancha, right here. Which one is going to be your role on offense this season with the Lakers?
That have not been discussed, but I believe my role is going to be, you know, just as it is on the defensive. Everything that I bring, you know, my skill set to help this team, whether that's, you know, scoring, whether that's creating, and playmaking and doing all the little things.
I'm truly excited to be here. You know, everything counts, and you could feel the pressure through the door. You know, this team wants to win the championship.
DeAndre, maybe one of the best moments or stretches in your career was playing pick and roll with Chris Paul. What are you looking forward to when it comes to playing pick and roll with Luka Doncic? And how big of a part of your job with this team do you think that specific role is going to be?
You know, I've proven myself that, you know, I dominate best with playmakers, and, you know, I'm here once again, and I'm much older now, and the game is much easier to me. And, you know, just playing alongside Luka is going to make a lot of things easier. You know, it's the true nature of the game, and we're here just to emphasize that even more.
You mentioned the word pressure. Is there a sense of you that you need to prove that pressure is not a big deal for you? You can handle this situation coming up?
Honestly, pressure is a privilege, and, you know, I'm in the right place to be where, you know, everything counts, and the fans wants us to win. And, you know, I'm here to just add to that legacy on bringing a title here.
Taking a win with the LA Times, speaking to that legacy, especially here at this franchise, what does it mean to you to be wearing this jersey and the pressure of this city specifically?
Like I said, pressure is a privilege, and, you know, just to be in this environment and this city that, you know, holds as a unit, that really cherishes this organization, you know, it's hard not, it's like black and white, it's hard not to, you know, to tell what they're going for and what's the goal. And, you know, I don't make it too complicated, you know, just staying in the gym every day and just staying consistent, proving to the organization and my teammates, you know, that I'm ready to do it.
DeAndre, what have you learned about JJ as a coach just over the past couple of months since signing with the team and his coaching style?
He's very straightforward. You know, he's serious in what he says he meant, and, you know, that's about it. He didn't really say too much. It was just more like, you know, just handling our team workouts the right way, and just us being on time and doing what we're supposed to do to get ready for training camp.
DeAndre, you've been the primary rim protector on a team that made the finals. How do you see your skill set defensively fitting in with this group and with JJ's scheme?
Well, now all pressure is on me, and I'm a little older now, you know, like I said. The times where I was the only big and protecting the rim, I was pretty inconsistent and, you know, didn't really know the tricks and trade of the game, really, especially playing that high of a level. And now it's just, you know, terminology where I can communicate on the court and just know where I'm at on the floor and just controlling the game from the get-go. It's much easier now because I'm competing, and I'm wanting to compete every night. So it's way better now.
Hey, DeAndre, over here on your right. Hey. This is kind of the first time in your career that you've gotten to choose your own destiny to a good degree. I was just wondering, like, what that experience was like for you, what that decision-making process was like for you, and if it gives you any sort of sense of invigoration, I guess, that you chose to be here, it's intentional, and you kind of get to choose your own adventure from this point forward.
Yeah, it was an opportunity that I know for sure I wasn't going to take for granted. You know, like everybody said, pressure, yes, is what I wanted. You know, waking up every day knowing that it's counted, and knowing that I'm a part of a legacy that wants to win a championship. Being around guys and great athletes like Luka and LeBron, just embracing that, and just feeling that aura, and just being a part of it and not taking it for granted. It makes me want to work even harder. And it's just helping me embrace everything even more.
Hey, DeAndre. Right. Just looking at the offseason, were there specific things that were important to you, whether in your game, once you decided also to come to the Lakers, how you could just fit in so seamlessly?
Yeah, just being consistent and sharpening my tools, sharpening my game, getting ready for whatever role they want me to play. If they want me to score, rebound, protect the rim, no matter what it is, I'm ready to do it.
Hey, DeAndre, what's your history with LeBron from growing up watching him as a kid to being in the NBA against him to now getting to be his teammate?
Well, growing up watching him, I always thought of him as a leader. I always looked at him, every team he went to, how he led teams that made guys great. And, that was his goal, one of his goals. Even have it in the interview I used to watch through high school, just, him just wanting to lead and him being that leader. And, obviously being competing against him throughout my career, it was always like a movie playing against Bron. And, now that I'm his teammate, it's just surreal. It's just, you here and, talking basketball and, being next to him and Luka it's not a dream no more.
DeAndre, fair or not, the perception of you, your reputation around the league, taking a little bit of a hit over the last couple seasons. How much do you look at this year as an opportunity to sort of change that conversation?
It's the biggest opportunity I can say of my career. Some people say it's my last leg. Some people say it's my last chance. It's the opportunity that I can say I'm truly not going to take for granted. And, it's almost like a wounded animal. I feel all the tension, and I know where I'm at. I've been in the gym every day. And like I say, I'm somewhere where it counts now. And I'm happy that everybody get to see it. And I'm happy where, as a player as myself, I get to, get a chance to prove something big on a big stage.
Hey, DA, as a follow-up to that, what has been the messaging specifically around that narrative to you from LeBron and Luka heading into the season? What is it like entering into all of that, having them to lean on?
I feel like everybody here has something to prove in a big way, and, the chips is on all of our shoulders in a way. And not to say this is the Lakers, and, the expectations are pretty high. And, every night is competing to the best of our abilities and doing what we can to bring and add to this legacy.
Yeah, I wonder with you and Luka, do you guys have some shared energy when it comes to having a chip on your shoulder right now? You've got the history of the draft, history with the agency, and the last couple of years that you've had. Is that something where y'all connect in terms of trying to prove some folks wrong right now?
Yeah, only actions can show. You see how much work he's put in to see where he's at, and how he's really really just embraced being a true professional, and showing and telling what he's about, changing his whole body and his mindset. And me, guys have an angry Ayton, where I've been disrespected most of my career and just been doubted. And I'm here where all is that behind me, and I can add all that fuel into winning and playing alongside Luka.
DeAndre, what's the mental challenge for you to playing alongside Luka and LeBron?
Huh?
What's the mental challenge for you to play alongside Luka and LeBron?
I don't know. The mental challenge? I don't know. I'm just embracing every opportunity. Like I said, there's nothing I'm not ready for, because I've been in the gym consistently, just preparing and just waiting for my opportunity to come. It just so happens that I'm here on the Lakers on the biggest stage, and honestly, I'm just embracing everything, just adding to the puzzle, and just wanting to just contribute the best way I can.